Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is brunch time with Mayegun. Thank you so much for joining me as usual. Please read the caption of this broadcast, the description of this broadcast. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell all of them, Mayegun today. Olóyè Sunday Igboho has been quoted to have said or declared Yoruba nation will not participate in the nationwide protest with some other extra words. As I was walking into the studio to kickstart this, I saw another headline that says, breaking news, Igboho denies that Yorubas will not participate in the protest. I said, okay, good. Read this, share it. I have a lot to share with you today. Ayo, Faulishe. Ayo, Faulishe, or you just say Faulishe, has also poke the north, the Arewa. He said because they are burning too much. That is why Thiefnubu is having problem. Arewa done the boy too. Motide. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is brunch time with Mayegun. But there is a caveat, just in case of those who are going to be snowflakes in the comment section, okay? There are some few things I want you to remember, even if you don't have the brains, to possibly remember. I will remind you. This is Mayegun General, right? We'll start with. This is Mayegun's Diary Political, second, right? And this platform raised over 40 million naira in support of the agitation of Yoruba nation. This platform raised and disbursed over 40 million naira in an effort to defend the victims of persecution, the Yoruba nation campaigners persecuted by Boko Haram, and I played a very big role in that. Just before you begin to point your fingers and start shouting, attack on your hero and all of that, it is just time for you to know something, okay? So this platform fed the Yoruba nation leaders. Yes, the Ilanomo Odua leaders. This platform fed them, took care of their welfare for months. They stretch. So whatever I say to you, I am speaking from the position of advantage, position of somebody who knows something, and you don't have to believe me. You don't hold me that. Believe me or not, that's your problem. Whatever you hear from my mouth, can only possibly be denied by the individuals involved. So it is time for us to kind of tell ourselves some certain truth. And it's not going to be comfortable. I promise you, it won't. But it will put an end to some extent. Some certain deceits taken too far. People being taken for a ride. And it seems that same set, that same people are doing waka to our faces. Waka. And we are not just going to look away. Ladies and gentlemen, Thiefnubu has been an ardent criminal for a very long time. And his only modus operandi is money. To everybody who knows him very well, those who have had an access to him, or those who have attempted to have an access to him, you will do whatever he wants you to do. It may be now, it may be later, whatever it is. But you know something, in fairness, Igboho never had such privilege. For some reason, he never got closer to him. And this is the story of what may be developing out there after Sunday Igboho was quoted. I'll quote it. I'll read it out. Yeah. That since Bola Ahmed Thiefnubu assumed office on May 29, 2023, he has implemented revolutionary policies which his predecessors lacked the political will to pursue. These bold steps have, unsurprisingly, unsettled those who believe it is their birthright to rule Nigeria. The Yoruba Nation movement and I firmly declare that we will not participate in any protest aimed at using the Southwest as a battleground for political upheaval. We stand resolute in our belief that the Yoruba Nation will not be a launchpad for disintegrating Nigeria. We recognize that economic hardship is a global phenomenon, not unique to Nigeria. Thiefnubu's talking point. But there are some clarity I need you to know. Yoruba Nation and the agitation for it didn't start, okay, 2 years ago or 3 years ago. It has always been the last sort of a stroke that the political class always use to whip sentiment in getting whatever they wanted in Nigeria. People like us grew up believing that Yoruba Nation as a region, right, had the potential of doing better than they are currently doing in Nigeria. So to the political class, they were throwing the word like restructuring, democracy, restructuring, and all that stuff. And, you know, somebody like myself, who is also a political student, right, grew up believing that, in fairness, right, let everybody take care of their own affair. Let's go back, you know, we keep brandishing 1963 Constitution. Let's go back to that one where we are, you know. But a lot of us discovered later that when the political class says, if we can't get this, we are going to break away Nigeria. I mean, Yoruba Nation will be declared. Some of us actually grew up religiously, believing that one day, this our political class, they are actually going to lead us out of the contraption called Nigeria. Don't blame me. I was raised to believe that Yoruba Nation and all the Yorubas, one day, we would have either our region or our country. So, after this democracy came, so many things started coming to light. We now discovered that, wait, the political class told us that we needed democracy, which is closer to us governing ourselves, which will give us an opportunity to choose our own leader, sort of. So we played it about 20 years after. It became obvious that Nigeria is actually not the problem. It is those criminals using Yoruba as their meal ticket that are because Yorubas have been governing Yoruba land. Okay? And our people have become poorer. Our infrastructures, schools, hospitals, they are decayed. Our farms are empty. This can't be blamed only on Nigeria. So without the collaboration of those who are supposed to protect us, so a lot of us started having interest in, oh, it is actually not that Nigeria is holding anyone. Honestly, it is the political class from every part of Nigeria that is using their, what do you call it, their link to their own region or whatever to hold them down for Nigeria. I mean, to hold them down for Nigeria. So few of us started feeling like, Omo, it is better to push for the scrapping of that their constitution. Push enough that the Yoruba position even force the hand of the political class to the point that they will push the Yoruba position towards either regionalism or complete sovereignty. Baba, in 2015, Thiefnubu politics. Now, this is me coming forward now to say, okay, in 2015, suddenly, Thiefnubu's politics was that Yorubas are closer to becoming the president of Nigeria through APC. And therefore, all the things that the Yorubas have been pushing, restructuring, this, that, finally, Yorubas will have a chance of doing, they deceived the ball. A lot of us who have now discovered that the way Nigeria is actually really structured, the way it is, right, is intentional. And all these guys from the southern Nigeria, they are comfortable. But they are lying to us. You get that? They are lying to us that, you know, this inequality is unfair, blah, blah, blah. It was all for political leverage. Now, those of us who discovered, we started finding other people saying same. That was how a lot of us entered the barrage of, maybe if we actually bring ourselves together, maybe we can force the hand of these guys, because it's all deceit now. APC was lying. Thiefnubu was lying. Look at those around him. Look at those places they've been ruling for years. These guys are in on it. If you don't hold them responsible, Nigeria will continue to treat us wherever they want. I mean, however they want. So what happened? They dragged the name of Yorubas into APC. Then Bukwari started dealing with the whole Nigeria without sparing any part, not even his own people, talk less of his own partners, the Yoruba region. Well, I'm not going to speak for them, for those who lost out in the political equation, wherever they expected from Bukwari that they didn't get. But I'm actually talking about the Yoruba people in the whole equation. Fulani terrorists invaded our land. And again, in fairness to Igboho, it could have been like anyone else, everyone else. A lot of us living abroad continue to receive either the cause of our family members being kidnapped, ransom demanded, and all these news were being suppressed by the same people that were supposed to speak for us. At a point, they killed the daughter of the supposed leader of Afenifere, a Yoruba socio-political group, Afashoranti's daughter. Remember? So they killed her, and the supposed person who was forcing himself to say is the Yoruba leader, Thiefnubu, went there, and he was asking about, where are the cows? Now, Yoruba land came under the siege, never seen before. We were disarmed. And that was where Oloye Sunday Igboho came into the picture. He wasn't a saint. He wasn't. Yeah? He's a businessman. I mean, to the rest of the world. He is also a hand for hire. For those of us who actually know him very well. Around that time, if those who are educated, those who are enlightened, those who had the political will and the political power to protect our people fail to do so, then we all agree that our ancestors will raise someone. And whoever they raise, it won't be the time for us to begin to kind of probe him and wanted something. You know, no. This time around, it is actually to see people that can push enough courage that we can stand up against these people. And he did. He did. Which then attracted the anger of the Fulanis, led by Boko Haram. How could he be giving order? Where is Thiefnubu? What is he doing about it? Igboho himself knows the role Thiefnubu played in an attempt to kill him. He knows, but I'm going to get to that. They were sending people to send threats to him. They were not offering him money. Nobody offered him money. They were warning him. And then you remember all the rallies. Oh, the rallies. That was where the Ilano sort of quickly hijacked the idea of the Yorubas are awake. They are willing and ready to. This was where the whole complex family, mixed up. We have to raise the awareness in Yoruba land, and we need to stand up. Every one of us, we must. And indeed, we stood up. All over the world, we heard him. We heard him, and we knew the danger involved. And a lot of us went over and beyond to protect him and protect all of them to the best of our ability. He had no single problem everywhere he went in Yoruba land until the day they chose that they were going to Lagos. Different threats started coming. And why was that? Because in Abuja, inside the Aso Rock, Thiefnubu's name is being mentioned, that he was the one sending him. He was the one sponsoring him. APC, Egbekegbe wanted him dead. Have you forgotten? They said they were mocking him. Yoruba Nation, Yoruba Nation. They were asking him to use his voodoo. That if he comes to Lagos, they will kill him. Have you forgotten? I bet you haven't. So those who are going to come here and begin to throw the card of Igboho loves Yoruba, this and that, and most of them are those who wanted him dead 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They wanted him dead because he was a threat to Thiefnubu becoming president. A threat. Don't forget that. Igboho himself can publicly come out and deny that the threat to his life, an attempt on his life, came straight from Bodilon. Yes, from Thiefnubu's desk. Just to prove to Boko Haram that he is not the one sending or sponsoring the Yoruba nation. The impression up north, they were telling their people, Thiefnubu is using Igboho. They were not talking about the Fulani threat, the Fulani terrorism. Up north, they said Thiefnubu was sponsoring Igboho and Yoruba nation. In order to threaten the north. For them to give him the presidency, to become the president after Buhari. That was the impression that time. So around that time, Igboho has to be out of the picture, totally. They signed off on that. And he was told, they are coming to your house at the end of the month, before you have that your July 1st rally in Lagos. They are coming on the 30th of June. We advise you, please don't stay at home. Please. And if you appear in Lagos, the order is that whenever you are seen in Lagos in the crowd, you should be shot and killed. They gave him the heads up. But what they didn't tell him was that they were going to come a day before they told him they will come. But luckily for him, in the last hour, he was able to be tipped off, jump the fence, bruise his arm with laceration, and managed to escape from his killers, who later killed 2 people, his own brother and friend. This came from the stable of Thiefnubu, just to prove to them that, listen, I am not the one sponsoring him. And if you don't believe me, wait. We've told him the rally in Lagos will never hold. He will never come to Lagos. But these guys, these Agberos in Lagos were making videos. Have you forgotten? They were making videos threatening him. So how did all of that now change? So Oloye Sunday Igboho coming into the public and then pleading with people. Listen, if he has denied that he didn't say there would be protest, right? Well, fear to him. Or it will be naive of you to pretend that you haven't heard him tell people and say, Nabokuwari destroyed Nigeria. I mean, Nabokuwari what? He destroyed Nigeria and we need Yoruba nation. That was then. Now, it is, people shouldn't blame Thiefnubu. They should blame Bokuwari. Okay? And then this protest, as it was quoted earlier, is now Yoruba nation will not be used as a spring or a launch pad for the breakup of Nigeria. Really? So what happened in Benin Republic? When Oloye finally got smuggled out of Nigeria, arrangement was made. He needed to move far away, as far as possible. And the first option to him was, I would rather just go to Germany and be with my family for the time being until the dust settles. Right? Meanwhile, the whole thing was that he must be either captured, dead or alive. So his escape slipped from them and didn't know that his face was already everywhere where they were looking for him. Now, the story of how he was arrested has been retold a few times. But the story of how the same Benin Republic that kept postponing, adjourning, and adjourning his case without real trial suddenly didn't go to court. And then they returned everything and said he can go. That's the story you haven't been told. A lot of you have suspected so much. And that suspicion is, your suspicion is that Thiefnubu has bribed him. Again, I can tell you this right now. It is also not about money. It wasn't about offering money in the first instance. Remember the role Akintoye and his own partner also were playing behind the scene. I'll tell you. You see, the creation of Akintoye and Olabiran, what's that guy's name again? That old man. Their creation, they were also the creation of a lot of us that believed that indeed Yoruba needs, to leave Nigeria. And these guys who kind of brought the idea, Ilano, and the other few names they called themselves before they actually had to create the Ilano as well. None of them had any real plan. Like, okay, this is how we're going to do it. Okay? No real plan, no nothing. Other than, oh, this thing has gained momentum now. And everybody is interested, so we just keep telling them what they want to hear. So people like us who are interested in, what is the plan that we can actually really begin to recruit for that? They couldn't present any. And that was the beginning of the end to start with. So the moment Igboho was off the picture, the whole push and all of that also went down, right? So what did Talon agree to? And then whose call finally opened the door and said he could continue? It was that of Thiefnubu, and this is it. You know, they call Thiefnubu a Mr. Strategist. His strategy is mostly criminal. When I say criminal, it's like the devil. It won't do something for you without expecting something in return. For some reason, people believe that Thiefnubu had the intention of paying the Northern Nigeria back in their own coin, which means all the humiliation they suffered under Boko Haram, right? They would have to experience him, and he won't be able to do that without securing, the service of